so Sammy the Sloth here coming to you from the breaker box. You know the word break's a homophone. It can be used in a lot of different ways, like a brain break or brakes on your bicycle. You don't want to hit them too hard, you go over the handlebars. That's right. Woo, that can be painful. So here we are talking about brakes. We're going to be exploring electricity. So here's the electrifying Miss Wilson.
Hi, winners. Are y'all ready for another great week of school? I am. This week is going to be so exciting. In social studies, you're talking about the Texas oil boom, and that's an exciting time. The spindle top, that black gold, that Texas tea, and the importance that that has on our economy. It's week 27. There is a test on this week. Thought it's cool. Texas Studies Weekly has that. I like it. It tells you what little article to go read, and with us studying journalism with our writing, you can really study how Texas Studies Weekly is laid out and which articles are what. Is it a human interest article? Those are sometimes near the end of our weekly newsletters. Or is it a background article, which there's a lot with that being an historical piece. So evaluate your Texas Studies Weekly, not only as a student studying the history, but as a writer. How do they organize it? What type of articles might you find in there? You won't find all of them, but you'll find a lot. That'll just integrate both your social studies and your writing together. That'll be fun. Then it's still reviewing Caesar's English, because you know so many terms now. 5 new terms in 20 weeks, 100 words and stems. And on our Zoom, we will do something with all of them from all 20 weeks. That'll be fun. And don't forget about word study. We're in a new unit for Benchmark Universe, our reading unit, and I am so excited about it. In fact, I'm so excited about it. That's why the studio classroom is set up a little bit different, because this week we get to start a unit that is exploring, wait for it, see if you know this.
Electricity, 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 electricity.
Did you get that? We're studying electricity. I figured long coronavirus bangs, they were good for the little head shake for electricity. Yes, we are exploring electricity. And I got to thinking, look around, just right in this little spot. I have lights everywhere. I'm using this crazy fun, colorful microphone. I almost said microwave, but we need electricity for that too. The tablet that I'm filming from, the laptop that I use for my notes, the power in the house, electricity. Imagine how frustrated people get very quickly when the electricity goes out. And what if electricity electricity had never been invented. I guess if we didn't know about it, we wouldn't know what we were missing, but we do know about it, and we do know what we're missing the second we lose power because of a big storm. We do that a lot here in Texas. So that's our new unit, Exploring Electricity. It looks like this in Benchmark Universe. And our question to start our new unit is this. I'll hold it up here. Where do scientific discoveries lead us? This is kind of neat that we're here again, because we started with out of necessity. We started with talking about necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention. And now we're looking at our driving question about where do scientific discoveries lead us? Well, thankfully, some scientific discoveries have led us to electricity. Just think about the machines at the hospital that need the electricity, and the everyday way it helps keep us warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Some of us even have homes that have generators built in. If for some reason our first power source goes out, we have a secondary source. Our school has that. Hospitals, some homes have that. It's that important. The question that we'll be talking about on Thursday, now I'll get my glasses for this one, is this, an Einstein quote, and I like it a lot. Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Do you agree or disagree? Why? Imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Do you agree or disagree? Why? I found the coolest book, speaking of imagination. Let me share it with you. I have it right here. I found it since we were together. You know me and Amazon and books. But this is called Mr. Ferris and His Wheel. It is an amazing book. It's kind of written in two ways. This week's skill set that we're practicing on is studying procedural text. So, procedural text is a text that tells you how to do something or how someone else did something. But it's teaching you the procedure that they went through to create something, build something, imagination, bringing things to life, and that's exactly what this story is. Just a little bit, he is the man that invented the Ferris Wheel. We needed something at the World's Fair that would bring visitors, and the story is written in two ways. It's written as a narrative, and we've all talked about narratives. Let me get here. I love it. I think I'm actually going to take the time to video. I'll read it to you so we can talk through it. But it talks about 10 months until the next World's Fair. And we wanted something bigger than the Eiffel Tower. You know, everyone has to outdo the next person. But that's where imagination comes into play. That's where necessity comes into play. And so on one side, it's the narrative story. And then the other side of the book, it's the historical or the procedural, the steps that happen, because it gets into the engineering and the building of the Ferris wheel. How you had to go about getting funding for it, people believing. And this is really cool. It goes with our quote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Listen to this little part. He imagined the Ferris wheel, and picture one in your mind. He got the idea from his bicycle spokes. Isn't that so cool? George's Ferris wheel, worked like a bicycle wheel. Both are supported by skinny, flexible rods called spokes. As the wheels turn, The spokes work together to share the weight. These are called tension wheels. And then they used, so it does, if you look closely, you know, on a grander scale, it does kind of look like your bicycle spoke. That's so cool. Then they lit it up. Used the electricity to light up the night sky, to put lights all around the boxes for the people to ride in, to outline the bicycle spokes. You know, when we did our Christmas at the Creek Parade, those of you that added lights to it, Christmas lights down the hall, lights just add fun, and that comes from the electricity. And all of that starts from someone's imagination or someone's need. So as you study a procedural text, even though this is narrative, there's procedural with it, there are all kinds of procedural texts. And when a procedural text is going to inform you how to do something or how to make something. Think about it. When you make a recipe, Avery spoiled me with some of her delicious banana bread that she entered in the fair last year. Not the same banana bread she entered in the fair, but her banana bread recipe. Ha ha ha, a little joke. Her banana bread recipe, that's a procedural text. How to make the banana bread, all right? Procedural text, when I looked up how to make a cool, clear video board like Ms. Dyer's in the studio that she's working from. Procedural text, how to build something. Sometimes I just go at it with no instruction at all, and I wish I could find a procedural text. Procedural text, how to do experiments in science. So this week, you get to do a fun static electricity experiment with a balloon, and your homework, I'll just go ahead and tell you now because I just can't wait to see what happens. Your homework is for you to take a picture with some form of static electricity. Either your hair going crazy or your sibling's hair going crazy. Whatever you can think of, something creative with electricity safely. If you get more creative than static electricity. I can't wait to see what you send to me, picture or video wise, and I'm going to put it together in a journal, a digital diary, so to speak, or a digital procedural text of you all sharing yours. But when you read your procedural text, look for what you need to know, what you need to get material wise, then what you need to do, directions that you follow, then extra information like introductions to get your reader in the right square mentally, thinking with you what you're wanting to accomplish. Maybe you need some graphs. When you get into more science experiments, you have to have your introduction, your hypothesis, your scientific method that you've talked about. That's one of the genres of a procedural text. How-to articles, scientific experiments, recipes, directions. That is officially a genre that you've been reading, and the genre is procedural text. So maybe in your journalism, maybe your article you want to create is a procedural text article and tie it all together. It's completely up to you. But I want you to have fun learning about exploring safely with electricity. That's what the articles are like in Benchmark, and then there's a quiz in Benchmark for you to take after you read those articles. But more important than the quiz, I want you to have fun with electricity. So I'll close out one more time.
Electricity, electricity, electricity,